Hello friends and welcome to this video. After we have already introduced the NOKOBIKE to you, today I want to introduce a new bike to you and I won't reveal exactly what it is yet. Stay tuned. Let's start with our unboxing. The bike we are looking at today is the NOKOLIGHT from 1,499 euros. You can configure it in 3 frame colors. Firstly in green, then also in black and white, and of course here again in white and black. I must say though that this green with the black, I really like it again, because especially this contrast of matte and glossy I find very good. There are 4 frame sizes and there's no extra charge for that. You can consider whether to mount different handlebars, for example, which are also shock absorbing among other things, or if you choose a different gear system. Currently the Grinter 10-speed gear system is installed, but you can also opt for an SRAM Apex with 11 speeds and whether you take a different battery. 252 watt hours are installed as standard, but you can also get 378 watt hours. And if we do that now, meaning we configure the bike completely and say, okay, here are the shock absorber, different handlebars, whoop, the SRAM and the large battery, then you're just under 2,000 euros. However, the bike is completely manufactured in Italy for that. You have a 2-year warranty on the bike and a 5-year warranty on the frame. So I think that's something. And now I would suggest we assemble the bike. There's not much to do, and then we'll take a close look at it. So friends, here we have the battery system, which is located here on the down tube. You can easily remove it here, unplug the connector at the bottom, done. By the way, the battery is charged with the 2 ampere charger, which is included. Charging time is 3 to 4 hours. You can read the battery level here. You have not the option here to turn the battery on and off. Here is the charging socket, and everything is designed for lightweight construction. Everything is a bit smaller, a bit lighter. Range always depends, of course, on how heavy you are and what terrain you are on. You have to experiment a bit. 60 to 80 kilometers seem to me to be a realistic value here, depending on what battery system you use later. Friends, the weight of our e-bike is about 15 kilograms. I just weighed it and the maximum load is 120 kilograms, making it certainly one of the lightest e-bikes with an aluminum frame in its class. I don't know about you, but I think the Italians really know what they are doing when it comes to color composition, and the fact that you can configure the bike in 4 frame sizes. It's a European production, meaning made in Italy. And beyond that, if you say, okay, the NOKOLIGHT might not be the bike I want, you also have other configuration options like the NOKOMAGMA here. I think that's pretty cool, so definitely check out the NOKOBIKE website. Wait a minute, I'll put it over here. The Magma has a carbon frame, which is no problem at all. Sleek design, typically Italian, I would say, right? And NOKOBIKE pays attention to every detail again, whether it's the paintwork from glossy to matte, to the quality of workmanship. NOKOBIKE itself says 2-year warranty, 5-year warranty on the frame, and you can really feel that. The bike was super well packaged. You hardly have to do anything and you can customize it. So I think just like with the NOKOMAGMA, which we also have here as a full carbon bike, meaning with a carbon frame, it's just well done. It's exactly these little details that matter, where you say, hey, it doesn't look like every other run-of-the-mill bike. And that's personally important to me when I buy a bike, that I have a bike that maybe not everyone else has and where the service is right in the end. And NOKOBIKE definitely guarantees that as well. Our NOKOLIGHT as a classic urban bike, and you can already see it here on the rim, now features the Grinter product line. And Grinter is essentially a part of NOKOBIKE, referring here among other things to the development of the motor or also the battery and other components. And the bike can thus be equipped internally at the factory in an affordable yet high quality manner. So you get a price starting from 1,499 euros. Added to this are the 28-inch wheels with appropriate road tires, so we can achieve a reasonable and smooth rolling resistance. My bike also features 160mm brake discs at the front and rear and the fully hydraulic braking system from SRAM. And those who know SRAM know that SRAM not only builds gear groups but also excellent braking systems. So with the brake, you'll say lesser and max you'll definitely come to a safe stop. And a good test is always to see if a brake is well adjusted by simply lifting the bike and letting it spin. And if you really hear nothing, then you know, hey, everything is well adjusted here. And that's the case here. What I was also very happy about was that my fenders were already mounted. Yes, that can sometimes be a bit of a task. The real advantage with this bike is that when you order it, you just have to straighten the handlebars. The rest is completely assembled except for the reflectors, front light, rear light, and then you can actually get started as soon as you have mounted the pedals. It's also nice that not only the design is considered, but also that the end consumer, meaning you as the end customer, doesn't have much left to do when you configure such a bike at NOKOBIKE. We have already talked about the battery. You can get it with 252 watt hours or with 372 watt hours. Important, if you are now traveling in the city and you lock your bike somewhere, the battery itself is not locked again here. You would need to remove the battery, meaning it's best to pack it in your bag or backpack so that it doesn't get stolen. Let's talk about the drivetrain. We have the chainring with crank arms from Grinter at the front, as well as the pedals with good grip. And at the back, we have the 10-speed gear system combined with the hub motor, 36 volts, 250 watts, and about 45 Newton meters. And if I just lightly pedal here, you can already feel how the motor accelerates powerfully. And that's exactly what you want. A lightweight bike with a powerful motor, and it doesn't need to have that many Newton meters. In the end, it's really about the tuning, and I'll test that for you in the review, how everything is set up here and how this sensor that's installed here feels in combination, of course, with our SRAM brake. So all in all, the whole thing seems well put together at first. Also, the fact that the cables, for example, run over the chainstay to the back, meaning regarding the gearing. And on the other side, we have our cables laid for the motor, all equipped with a plug connection. So all in all, it's a very, very clean look where you can really say one thing, I'm already looking forward to the motor because you don't have to do much and it really packs a punch. Alongside the continuous mudguard and the reflector at the back, no, that's not a taillight. The rear light is battery operated here, which I find a bit unfortunate. Here you find the MIK luggage rack system, you know, and many of you might know it, plug and play, made in Germany. You can quickly mount your bag system, basket system or whatever. Super practical and also stylishly done. I think it also fits well with the design. Simple, straightforward, and still plug and play, so you can quickly attach and detach your things. Next to an LED taillight, which is now battery operated, I still need to charge it. You will also find the saddle here, which is of course very sporty, just like the entire bike. As if that's too uncomfortable for someone, they can naturally remedy it with a different saddle or a suspension seat post. We have a hardtail here, and that makes sense depending on the terrain you are riding in. And we know that the streets we have in Berlin, for example, or the bike paths are not always the best. So everyone has to decide for themselves. And this is exactly the point that I find very, very nice. It's this transition from the glossy to this matte green, and this matte green, which reminds me a bit of this military green in combination with matte black. I don't know why, but the Italians just have a knack for it. As for design, right on point again. Really on point, because I truly appreciate this color composition in coordination with the customization at NOKOBIKE. And I've been following NOKOBIKE for, well, a good 2 or 3 years. And they always manage to really impress me. Just like with the Noko Magna, which is standing back there, where I said, that's not a color, right? And then you unpack it, set it up and think, wow, what an awesome color, right? At least you'll be seen in traffic, and it's an incredible eye catcher because they work intensely with the black and this neon orange red. And it's exactly the same here. Let's continue with our handlebars, and here we have our central color display and our lighting. You can already see the grips. Decide for yourself whether you prefer ones with handrests or without. I still think they have a good grip. The brake has a good pressure point. You can easily reach the underbar shifter, which is very, very important. And you can adjust the lighting and, if necessary, remove it. On the other side, we find our standard control element. You already know it from many other manufacturers. So you have a total of 5 driving modes to choose from. It's easy to operate. You can retrieve information on the display using the info button. The display is easy to read. We also have the battery level in percent and the most important information. There's also a watt display, so you can see how the motor is performing. If this seems too much for someone, especially regarding the handlebars, they can of course have it simplified. Not everyone might set up the navigation system now, so it doesn't look too cluttered. All in all, the size, the width of the handlebar, and also the setup of the handlebar are pleasant and fit especially well with the sleek yet modern design of the NOKOLIGHT. Before I get on the bike, let's quickly go over what I've noticed. So what I really like is the design, the color coordination and the customization options. The whole thing from 1,499 euros. There are one or two things that I have noticed now. Among other things, for example, the issue with the battery, that it's not lockable. So you have to remove the battery every time and ideally pack it in your bag. And then, of course, I would have wished for integrated lighting, to be honest. So a rear light with a brake light function would have been pretty cool. As for the front light, yes, that's fine. I have nothing against it. Everyone can customize that anyway. And I didn't really have space for the bell anymore, to be honest. Yes, so it didn't fit. I would probably have to get another bell. There was just no more space. Where should I put it, right? So the handlebar is actually a bit overloaded when you add everything in the end. Still, design-wise, awesome. I like it. And now I'll sit on it, me with my 1.90 meter and my solid 92 kilograms, which I'm very proud of. And we'll see how I look on the bike. You know, friends, when you watch my videos, you always get honest and objective feedback. And the point that I read on the internet that 12.8 kilograms for the NOKOLIGHT isn't quite right. We're roughly at 15 kilograms here because once everything is added, meaning accessories, luggage rack and so on, then it all adds up, and that includes lighting as well. All in all, by the way, this is frame size L. I myself am 1.90 meter tall and I'll just take a seat now. Everything was already set up as standard and you see, I could raise the saddle a bit more for a stretched leg. Yes, in terms of size, I would say it's okay for now, with the seating position slightly leaning forward. The saddle is rock hard, super sporty. Typical student vehicle, if I may say so. Those are the ones, the kids, yes, the young people who have a backside made of steel. I'm not that type. I would probably need an insert for my backside or a suspension seat post to enjoy it. But what I really like is the handlebar and especially the grips and the readability of the display.
I coordinated my colors. I don't know how you see it.
I just find it trashy. The color is awesome, yeah.
The comfort is naturally generated here through the tires, possibly through a suspension seat post, because you have a hardtail. That means you don't have a suspension fork in the front, and you also don't have any other suspension elements, and you can already see the sidewalls here through the tires. Everything is more geared towards sporty, light and fast. Well, pedal assist up to 25 kilometers per hour is clear, but if we quickly reach speed and the performance is right in the end, and the whole thing is priced at a level where I say, okay, under 2,000 euros, you still get the warranty and also the service. And with service, pay attention when configuring gear groups. I would have, for example, put in the SRAM here. Every bike dealer knows that if you ever have an issue, you can just go to your trusted bike dealer. Not everyone might know GreenTech, although it's all basic technology. No one will say anything about that, but it's always a topic of its own. Still, visually, I really like it. There are only small things that could perhaps be adjusted here. But I'm happy to pass that on at this point. I'm definitely pleased that we got a kickstand installed here on my Noko Magna, which is basically a gravel bike. We don't have it. I still have to get a stand separately.
You can also buy everything as accessories. At least it's included here.
I'm happy about it. And yeah, folks, this is the NOKOLIGHT for now. And now you can tell me how you find this bike, especially in this color combination. I'd be interested to know. Yeah, friends, now it's your turn. What do you say about Bella Italia, the NOKOLIGHT? Hey, at least for a fair price, and you can at least configure it. As with many bikes, it's like this. You just press the button and you get what you get. Then you might be able to order a few fenders or a front light or a rear light, but at least you still have the option to say, okay, what do I have or what kind of gear group would I like? How about the handlebars? How about the color? Well, data option is available with other manufacturers too, but also the frame sizes. It's not a given that you have 4 frame sizes to choose from. I might have even been able to take a frame size larger, extra large at this point. Still, try it with large. It looked quite reasonable so far, and of course we have some we are also riding the bike. Now please write in the comments, what do you think about the NOKOLIGHT? I would be very happy if you could give me some feedback, and then we'll hear and see each other again next time. That's it. I'm out. You just do one thing, click a like, subscribe.
Now I'll say it again. We'll hear and see each other next time. Oh, that was redundant. Anyway, let's continue.